take to get a op back. All my niggas outside, steak, bitch, we out back.
Hey yo, keep up with my feet up in the trap, I'm doing me. Keep my distance from these suckers, I can't let them ruin me. Drug dealer, pimps and hustlers, they the ones influence me. 13 jumped off the porch with drugs, isn't true.
Warning, the following image and or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday to y'all. I'm the official urban therapist. Appreciate you tuning in to this special show tonight or this evening, whichever come first. Tonight we're going to talk about the situation that happened with Jayland Walker. All right. So Jayland Walker. Oops, wrong image. Sorry. Now Jayland Walker. If y'all been keeping up with the news reports dealing with Jayland Walker was involved in a officer involved shooting. I believe it was a couple of days ago, probably longer than that. But the whole situation transpired by Jayland ultimately ended up fleeing for the police for whatever reason. I have no idea. I don't know. But he ended up fleeing from the police. They ended up having a police chase, and the police chase ended with Jayland Walker ended up getting out his vehicle. He ended up getting out of his vehicle and tried to run from the police. Then after that, the officers end up shooting Jayland. It is said that the officers, it was a total of 8 different officers involved in the shooting, right? It is said that Jayland was shot over 60 times or more. So what I'm going to do today, y'all, I'm going to present to y'all about the one story about Jayland Walker. I'm gonna give y'all more details about what happened to this young man, what led to this whole situation for him, and also as a bonus, I'm going to present to y'all the actually video footage of the police body cam as well as we're gonna hear from the police chief as well too about how he feel about the whole situation. We're gonna hear all this, and we're gonna formulate our own perspective about this. All right. Now, that's a real quick thing about me. I always in these situations, I always remain like I'm biased in a situation because every single time when I review stories like this, especially when they deal with an officer-involved shooting, especially when these shooters become quote unquote racial motivated or Black Lives Matter motivated, whenever I do a review on these type of stories, right, and I do my own due diligence and find out what really happened, most of the time I end up finding out that the people who end up in the victims that end up being involved in this, that they did something to trigger the event. And I'm just being honest with you, being real honest with you. So I haven't went into full details about this yet, so this is going to be my first time actually really digging into the story as well as presenting to y'all as well. So we're going to go down this rabbit hole. We're going to find out what's going on with this story, and we're going to formulate our own perspective about this. Was this shooting justified, or is this literally a situation where justice needs to be served? So the one way we're going to do this is for us to dig into the story and find out right now. I appreciate everyone tuning in today on this Sunday, by the way, once again. So let's go ahead and dig into the story real quick. All right, we're going to do this thing. We're going to dig into it. I'm going to present the videos to you and everything. All right, so let's dive into this. All right, I actually got an article pulled up right now that I'm going to read, and we'll just go from there. Okay. So let me go ahead and pull this article up for y'all real quick. Here it is. Now, according to this article from the New York Post, it says this. It says this. The police of Akron, Ohio, right, who fired more than 90 shots at a black motorist earlier this week, killing him, said they will release video of the shooting as the city braced for protests, according to the reports, which they did release the video, by the way. Oh, real quick, my bad. My bad, Rashid. Shout out to you, bro. Sorry about that. Salute. Jayland Walker, around 25, died after being hit more than 60 times, his family attorney said, who has been seeing the body cam footage in question. The video is suspected to be made public Sunday, which they have made the video public now, and I will be sharing the video to y'all, all right? 2 police officers used non-lethal tasers before 8 other officers fired a barrage at Walker, according to News 3 investigates. You see 2 officers deploy their tasers. You don't notice it, but you learn later that it's what happened because tasers don't make a big bang sound. Say Robert DiCello, the attorney for the Walker's family. All of a sudden, without warning and for no reason that I could discern on the video, there's no hand gestures, no stopping, there's no turning, there's no motion, there's no anything. Walker seems to be turning over his left shoulder to look at them, and gunfire erupts. All right. Keisha, salute, welcome. Appreciate you tuning in. Now, as you see with these photos, this is the city in Akron, Ohio. The people are out there right now protesting about this. All right. Now, is there going to be civil risk occur due to the situation? I have no idea. But we're going to find out. But this is the city. This is also, I believe, this is his mother crying. They post this video of this child too, saying, "I'm only 4. Do I get to choose my future, or do you?" Now, just like I stated in the opening of this again, the only thing about these situations that I don't like, well, I don't agree with, is when in fact when they try to make these situations racially motivated, meaning that these officers had a racial intention behind them doing what they're doing. That's the one thing I don't like about that, because when you say things like that, right, it's kind of like a slippery slope, if you know what I mean. Meaning that the only way you could truly find out if the situation was racially motivated through these officers is for you to actually understand the mind of the officer in question. Once again, the only way you can understand if it was actually racially motivated, if you understand the mind of the officers in question. So that's why I say this situation is kind of, you really don't know. You really don't know. You really don't. So like even this situation with this son, with this child, talking about I'm only 4, do I get to choose my future, or do you? This situation, this plays to be honest with y'all, this plays a political agenda. I'm just going to be honest with y'all on it. It just plays a political agenda. All right. So continuing on, the article said this: Akron city officials had canceled the 4th of July events as it prepared for demonstrations after the release of the video, according to the reports. Walker died shortly after leading the police on a 4-minute chase that ended just after midnight Monday. He was killed when he jumped from his slow-moving vehicle and tried to run away, according to the reports. Police followed and initially used tasers that missed him. Police said that Walker fired his own gun during the chase. At that time reached more than 80 miles per hour. They said they later found the gun and bullet casings inside Walker 2005 Buick sedan. A police officer had tried to stop Walker a day earlier after he noticed his car had a broken tail light. Okay. This picture here, this is the one Walker family attorney, all right? This is some more protest pictures in the city of Akron, Ohio. More protest pictures as well too. Now, finally, this article ends by saying we want the community to know about the chase. His attorney said, "Here's why he walked home from that chase. Do you understand? He lived to tell the tale, and that's exactly what should have happened here. There's no reason to kill him, none. All right. So there are other articles that's going to talk about this. All right. But what I'm going to do, like I promised to y'all, right? Like I promised, I'm going to present the actual video to y'all. All right. We're going to want to look at this video and we're going to view it for ourselves. And we're going to formulate our own perspective about this. Now, I got to warn y'all that when I present this video, you may find this video disturbing or triggering. All right. So viewers' discretion is advised when I present this video. Okay. So let me go ahead and switch back over and we're going to jump into this and we're going to analyze this thing. All right. We're going to analyze this thing to the best of our ability based on the information that we got so far. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this and let's do this. All right. Let's go. Now this is the actual video that the Akron Police Department has shown to us today. All right. This is the actual video of the body count from the officer. All right, so let's see what's going to happen with this situation. All right.
2022 at 12:30 in the morning, Akron police officers attempted to stop a silver Buick on East Talmadge Avenue near Thayer Street. Officers informed dispatch that the reason for the stop was for a traffic violation as well as an equipment violation. The driver of the vehicle refused to stop, and officers initiated vehicle pursuit as the vehicle was nearing the East Talmadge Avenue entrance ramp to Route 8 southbound. Approximately 40 seconds after the driver of the vehicle fled from the attempted stop, a sound consistent with a gunshot can be heard on the body-worn cameras of the officers. Officers notified dispatch that a shot came out of the suspect's car door.
Getting on the 8 south from Talmadge, reason for stop is traffic.
Trey, salute.
Shots fired. That vehicle just had a shot come out of its door.
At the time of the sound, a flash of light can be seen along the driver's side of the suspect vehicle.
Now this right here, this particular part right here is pretty sketchy, y'all. I don't know. I honestly don't know about this at all. They saying that it was a flash of light that was coming out of Mr. Walker's vehicle. All right, meaning that this flash of light was the light from him shooting his weapon or discharging his weapon. All right, so this thing is kind of flaky on this for the simple fact that you really don't know. You really don't know. That light could be light flashing from the street lights or whatever. So you really don't know. So I'm assuming that this is a assumption instead of 100% facts. But we will continue.
The vehicle pursuit continued on the expressway for several minutes, and the suspect vehicle exited onto the Archwood Avenue ramp. The pursuit proceeded through several city streets until he neared the intersection of East Wilbur Road and Claremont Street. At that point, the driver slowed down and exited through the passenger side door of the moving vehicle wearing a ski mask.
Hold up. So he was wearing a ski mask? Why he was wearing a ski mask? Huh. So far there are a lot of different questions that need to be asked about the situation. I already asking about this alleged light that they're trying to say, saying that Mr. Walker had discharged his weapon while driving 80 miles an hour. That's questionable. Now they're saying that he had a ski mask on too. So my question is that there are other reports and stuff, right? They're saying that Mr. Walker was actually a DoorDash driver, and he just came from Subway. So my question is this: is that if he came from Subway, what had happened between him transitioning coming from Subway, getting into his vehicle, that all of a sudden getting pulled over by the officer with a routine traffic stop? And here's another question too: why was Mr. Walker having a gun and a magazine in the passenger side of his seat as well too? Which y'all going to find out about that too.
Parade south towards 77 south, passing exit 0, just passing University. It's middle lane, speed to 70. Now it's in the right lane, speed to 70. White traffic, continuous car getting over.
Now, I have not heard this officer say that. Now, real quick, I haven't heard this officer say anything about him shooting at the other officers. Yeah, unless I missed that part.
Traffic. Vehicles about 100 yards in front of us. Continuing 77 south, just past interchange.
Power 4, customer, you want to have 3 minutes of driving?
Units up there that are coming up on Lover's Lane, he's coming up on your left side just now. Take caution, he was grabbing for a gun, he did fire a shot out the side of the door.
Okay. Yeah, I just heard him say that he fired a shot.
Alright, 24, we got 2 units in front of us.
Our 24 primary line now, and here, now, speed car, or he's getting off here. We're getting off at the archway exit. Speed of 65 miles per hour. First, the red light is Archwood. He's going to go into the red light, continuing southbound, approaching Mark Firestone. Speed of 35 miles per hour. Running the south side, he's going to be going westbound on North Firestone Boulevard from here.
It looked like the chase is coming to an end.
You're going southbound on that student speed car, 30 miles per hour. There's no traffic on this road. Right to the south side of Reed, he's going westbound on Reed from here. Watch out for each other down there. Southbound on Oakwood, speeds are 15 miles per hour, approaching Cypress. Then you're going westbound on Cypress, heading towards Redwood. We're passing Redwood, we're approaching Brown Street. Now on Brown, we're returning westbound on the Wilbit. Speeds are approximately 25 miles per hour.
They say here 25 miles per hour.
Westbound on Wilbit, we're passing Glen Mounts. Speeds are 55 miles per hour. 602 on westbound Wilbit, Firestone, can I get in? We're still westbound on Wilbit. We're passing Evergreen. We're heading towards Maine. Looks like we have some units up ahead at the intersection of Maine.
For this chase to be 4 minutes long, it shows seem like this a long 4 minutes.
He's slowing down
Oh, crap. Holy crap. They straight Call of Duty that dude. What the hell? Oh, man. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. They straight Call of Duty that dude. I ain't lying. So here's my own question about that particular part. Was it necessary for them to not only um, deploy their firearm, but was it also necessary for them to take that many shots at that one man? Was it necessary for them to do that? Because that seems excessive. That seems way more excessive than any type of officer of involved shooting that I have ever seen. And I'm just being realistic about it. I never seen anything like that. That's too much. That's too much. I have seen officer involved shootings where they made like a couple of shots and that's it, sent them ass, and that was done with it. But that was excessive. I think it was a total of about 8 different officers who discharged their weapons and hit Mr. Walker that many times. So my question is, was it necessary? Or is that considered as excessive force? That's my question. That's my question on this. Because so far, that's what it seems. It seems that was very, very, very excessive. I ain't lying. That seems very excessive. But now we're gonna hear from the police chief, and we're gonna hear his perspective about this situation. All right. So let's go ahead and hear this.
I could ask our community members to please stand with me for just 1 second. Chief Marco.
I'm assuming that this is the mayor right here.
There's no doubt that the video you just watched is extremely disturbing and will stir a lot of emotions and feeling. It's shocking and hard to take in. But what we are collectively calling for is peace this afternoon. It's the same thing Mr. Walker's family is calling for, and it's the ask of everyone standing here with me in the community. Peace for our city, peace for our community, and peace for our residents. Thank you. Thank you all.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. Why did he do that though? Why he just had them come up there like that? Just say that and all this psychological stuff y'all doing. But all right, go ahead.
I understand the public's demand for information now. I understand that. I have questions that I want answered now. However, I echo the Walker's family's request for patience. We keep going back to the Walker family. They're requesting patience, peace, and to allow the process to run its course. Since Monday morning, information about this shooting has been disseminated through various outlets. I would encourage people to wait for BCI to conclude their investigation, submit their investigation to the Attorney General's office, and then the grand jury. The damage of spreading misinformation can cause irreparable harm. So before we receive BCI's final report, I would like to get some facts stated because I've seen a lot of misinformation circulated. As you've already heard, there were 8 officers who were directly involved in the shooting. All officers have been placed on paid administrative leave as per department policy, and which is routine when officers involved in a deadly force situation. That's standard across the nation. We do not know the exact number of rounds that were fired. Again, this is something that BCI will discover in their examination of evidence. However, based on the video, I anticipate that number to be high. A lot of rounds were fired, and I will not be surprised if the number at the end of the investigation is consistent with the number that has been circulating in the media. But right now, we just don't know. While BCI needs to confirm the number of times Mr. Walker was shot, the ME's report indicates over 60 wounds to Mr. Walker's body. However, they are still working to determine entrance and exit wounds, and this investigation on their end will take time. It will take time for them to determine how many times Mr. Walker was actually shot, and that work to make that determination is the responsibility of the medical examiner. As you could see in the video, there was a gun recovered from Mr. Walker's vehicle. At the time of the shooting, he was unarmed. Lastly, after the shooting ends, Akron police officers went to Mr. Walker and diligently provided first aid to save his life. One officer on a body cam footage can be heard saying he still has a pulse. As the officers were getting ready to put him into a police car to get him as quickly as possible to the hospital, Akron fire medics arrived.
Why would he want to turn around to pretend that he's going to fire at an officer?
And I'll leave it there.
Police.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to understand a little better the gunshot from the car. Was there a bullet wound that exited the car from the inside? Sorry, a bullet hole in the door?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry, the other part is, was the gun found with the magazine removed from the car?
Yes, the way in which that picture depicted where the gun was located and the way and the manner in which it was placed, officers are approaching the car on their body-worn camera, and it's capturing it as they are approaching. After the shot was fired, after the shooting occurred, we went back to the scene where we believe the shot was fired. A casing was discovered at that location, consistent with the firearm that Mr. Walker had in his vehicle. BCI will determine whether or not that casing came from the gun or not. And again, independent of anything we did, the ODOT camera captures what we believe to be a muzzle flash coming out of the car. Again,
A muzzle
BCI
flash.
will be determining whether or not that in fact is the case. Right.
Chief, as far as the chase goes, and wondering if this could have been avoided at all, could you talk at all about the protocol of the chase and the point of the gunshot being fired? Does that cancel any opportunity to call this chase off because of the gunshot?
Thank you for that question. It's a great question. So the initial attempt to stop Mr. Walker, as you heard on the audio, was for an equipment violation and for a traffic violation. I'm not exactly sure what the equipment violation was or what the traffic violation was. We will find that out, or BCI will discover that.
Now, real quick, I do want to agree with this particular situation right here. Now, if he didn't have anything on him, then what was the whole point of him fleeing from that simple traffic citation stop? Now, to my knowledge, they were saying that he had a broken tail light or the license plate light was out, whatever the case may be, and they were saying that he got pulled over for the same exact thing prior before this particular event happened too, right? So my question is that if that be the case, then what was going on in Mr. Walker's mind thinking that not only he needed to have a firearm in his possession during this particular time with a ski mask on, by the way, a firearm with a ski mask on, and have his own ring off as well too. What was going on in his mind to think like this? What was he doing? They're like I say, I'm just speculating. I ain't saying that this is 100% facts or anything like that. Could it be possible that he probably was trying to do some type of crime event, meaning that he may was trying to put the ski mask on, and he may was trying to rob somebody or do something, because it is unusual for a normal person to have a firearm in a vehicle with a ski mask as well, unless they don't want to be identified. Once again, unless they don't want to be identified, right? And knowing that they was getting ready to commit some type of criminal act. I'm just saying. Because just like I pointed out, if it's just a simple traffic stop and you don't have nothing to worry about, you don't have to flee the police. You comply with the traffic stop. If they give you a citation, you get a citation, and you just go to court and you get it dismissed in court. It's that simple. It is that simple. But I digress, but let's continue.
During their investigation, what was going to be a routine traffic stop, which would probably result either in a warning or a citation being issued, turned into a pursuit. As Mr. Walker turned onto the entrance ramp to Route 8 and the shot is fired, that changes the nature of the contact. 40 seconds after the initiation of the traffic stop, a half a mile from the location of the traffic stop, you hear the gunshot and then everything else that I've just discovered. And again, that changes the whole nature of the traffic stop. It went from being a routine traffic stop to now a public safety issue. And then the pursuit continued. Yes.
Chief, have the officers involved viewed any of the video before they made their statements?
They have not given statements yet, to my knowledge. And again, that part of my answer is us walling ourselves off from the investigation, and that will be determined by the Bureau of Criminal Investigation.
Sir. Chief, the initial officers on that approach to the car deployed tasers. Can we read into that? Does that mean they didn't see it as a lethal threat? What were they seeing that they chose to grab a taser versus their firearm?
I don't know. I'm not going to respond to that because it would be speculation. The officers will be given an opportunity to explain their actions.
Sir.
Yes, Chief, in sort of 2012 in Cleveland, they had a sort of famous incident where 137 shots were fired into a car of unarmed people after a chase. And that received a lot of publicity. I'm curious if that incident, 137 shots into unarmed people which killed them in that incident, if that changed policies at all, either in the Akron department or other departments around the country.
So when that shooting occurred,
Good
I
question.
wasn't here in Akron. I just got here last August.
Of course.
And, you know, I'm trying to go back in memory. I can't recall exactly what we did as a profession following that. But I can tell you that we train in this police department. We go above and beyond in the police academy, the minimum required hours of training when it comes to firearms. Additionally, we go above and beyond the minimum requirement by the state for annual qualifications. And so I really can't answer fully that question.
So why you went through that long drawn out statement, knowing good well you couldn't fully answer that question? Where it was a very valid question. The news media reporter asked the question. He said, "Hey, there's a situation, same type of situation that happened where officers end up deploying and end up shooting 137 rounds, killing these people, right?" So he's asking, is this part of y'all policy to do that or not? He should have said, "I don't know." But instead, he went on a whole 5-second rant, sitting up here talking about, yeah, we go through this whole training and all this different thing like that. You know, that's what make it worse. That's what make it suspect now. The one answer was simple. Look, I don't know. That's something I have to look into. Next question.
Yep.
This question kind of dovetails with that. Is there any kind of rubric or protocol when multiple officers are firing for how many rounds you fire when there's a single subject?
So officers are trained to, when they perceive a threat to themselves or to somebody else, that they are authorized to use their firearm to stop the threat. And they are authorized to use their firearm until that threat no longer exists or it stops. And that is the standard.
Young man in the back.
Chief, you mentioned several body cam videos, but is there also dash cam footage, and does any video cover the moment of actually attempting to pull him over?
So we don't have dash cameras in our fleet.
What?
No, sir. And what was
Hold up. They don't have dash cams? Wait a minute. They don't have dash cams? Did he just say that they don't have dash cams? What the hell? So, let me get this straight. The whole situation with people protesting and dealing with Black Lives Matter and civil unrest throughout this whole entire nation, right? You mean to tell me that the city of Akron Police Department didn't take heed and at least upgraded vehicles to have dash cams? What the hell? That is a fumble on y'all part, for real. This, I ain't lying, y'all. This situation, it's not looking too good on them, for real. It's not looking too good. To my understanding, what I'm hearing from the one police chief, right, they have a lot of outdated policies. They have a whole lot of outdated policies that need to be reformed, and they didn't do it. They didn't take heed to all the things that was happening around the nation through civil unrest and all these different things. They didn't take heed to the Florida situation. None of that. They just said, the hell with it. We're going to do our own thing. And now, by them doing their own thing, stand with the old way and the old policy. Look where it got you. I'm just saying.
What was your second question?
Does any video record the actual moment where they attempted to pull him over for the alleged traffic infraction?
So again, everything that you saw right now is from body camera footage. We don't have dash cameras in it, and I'm not going to step into that part of the investigation. I will look to BCI to collect all that evidence.
Sir. Chief, you said you had... hang on 1 second. Go ahead, sir.
Chief, have you ever had a case where someone left their waiting room behind? I'm not asking you to speculate on this case, but have you ever had that happen before? And if so, why? And second, just your gut feeling when you saw this video, if it was as many as 90 shots as has been reported, and I know you didn't confirm that, did that strike you as excessive?
I will say this, that it was difficult to watch and shocking, just like it is for everybody. I'm not passing judgment on the decisions my officers made. They will be given the opportunity to explain why they did what they did, as they should. In terms of your first question, I'm not going to speculate. Yes, I have seen that in my 33 years as a police officer, but I'm not going to go any further than that.
Chief, you said that you had questions yourself. What are your questions?
So I will reserve those for our administrative investigation. I'm not going to reveal those right now.
Good answer,
because it
I
would
guess.
be improper. There's two separate processes that need to be respected. One is the independent external criminal investigation. The other one is the internal investigation. I will be getting with our Office of Professional Standards and Accountability, our Internal Affairs Unit, and I will discuss those questions with them.
Young lady.
Chief, what is the department's now plan of action with
not related.
So number one, first and foremost, again, I praise and I thank the Walker family for calling for peace. We obviously, a focal message here today is just that. We have developed an operations plan to manage and to provide safe space in this city for people to peacefully protest. And in case that it turns to a situation where it's no longer peaceful, we have an operations plan in place for that as well. And I'm not going to discuss any of the details with that.
Anyone else on this side that I haven't already called on? Do they have a question before we shift the other direction? All right, go ahead, Doug.
The video ends at the deadly shooting to the garage of bolts. Can you describe or explain the decision not to show anything afterward? What is protocol for securing somebody after that shooting, and what was done? Was he handcuffed? Go into a little more detail about the care that was given afterwards.
So the video footage will demonstrate a sergeant asking who fired. Officers who fired raised their hand, and they were immediately sequestered. Other body camera footage will show officers immediately going to Mr. Walker's aid to provide life-saving aid. And then
don't know why.
Then it's just managing the crime scene.
Other than paperwork.
At the conclusion of this press conference, we will be sending out, in compliance with our ordinance, all video footage that is mandated by the ordinance.
That includes footage after the shooting.
I'm not sure how far after it would be, but all of that is going to be open records, and so
whatever the ordinance provides.
Yeah.
One last question. We actually have time for just one last question. Go ahead.
Chief, can you explain why the officers have not yet made a statement? It's been almost a week, and will they be viewing this video?
So I can. Again, we are walled off from the criminal investigation that is between BCI and the officers. The officers don't have to give a statement. Okay, every American is entitled to due process, and they don't, just like everybody else, they do not have to give a statement. My understanding from the union president is they are going to fully cooperate with this investigation.
Okay, that concludes the press conference.
All right, that's the end of this particular video. All right, so let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and give y'all my take on this. All right, my perspective. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all my perspective about this situation. All right. Now, do I believe that this particular shooting is racially motivated due to Jayland Walker being black? No, not at all. The things that they did, what I done seen for us, the video and so far the evidence that's been presenting itself, it has nothing to do with his race. It has nothing to do with the color of his skin. But it has everything to do with this man, Jayland Walker, end up making a terrible, terrible, terrible decision. So let's talk about that. This man made a terrible choice. For whatever reason, whatever was going on in his mind, he decided that the best course of action with dealing with the local law enforcement